Growing unease about a dangerous job getting more risky all the time.
I've been a cop for 35 years. What our members are experiencing nowadays, I didn't experience this 35 years ago.
Police nationwide say violent crime and toxic attitudes must be tackled. Plus, Venezuela rocked by two powerful earthquakes.
And then just mass panic.
Nations, including Canada, pledge help. And planting the seed of friendship.
It's a good reminder that they're not alone and that we haven't forgotten them.
A small gesture taking root to battle loneliness in seniors.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Calgary police are trying new tactics in the fight against extortion, targeting the South Asian community. They've released photos and names of more than a dozen arrested suspects, hoping to stir up more information to stop the crimes. Alicia Fieldberg joins us. Alicia, Calgary has had a spike of these crimes recently.
Tara, nearly 50 extortion-related incidents since last April have been reported, most of them targeting members of Calgary's South Asian community by threatening them and demanding hefty ransoms. This includes 19 cases involving shootings. CPS released these pictures of 16 people charged in extortion cases. All but one of these suspects are still in the community with court-imposed conditions as they await their next court dates. Police say many of the people arrested are not Canadian citizens. Some are using student visas to come here, and many of these people have legal documents from different countries and Canada, all in different names. And police say this helps protect the identity of suspects even after they've been charged. And innocent people are sometimes drawn into these cases by lending a car to a friend who they don't realize is using it for criminal purposes. And police say two campaigns helped significantly reduce violence and led to arrests, but believe there are more victims who may have met these suspects under different names. That's why officers hope releasing these photos leads to more tips from the public.
We don't want people hiding in plain sight. Business owners, for example, you might have an employee who you know as a certain name, and we know them as someone different. We've released the name, but you haven't associated that. That's why we are releasing the photo, because they might be using your reputation, your thriving business as ways to identify people to be extorted.
If you are being targeted, do not pay. Contact police immediately. Anyone with information about these incidents can contact police, Crime Stoppers, or email extortion@calgarypolice.ca. CPS believes the extortion crimes here are linked to similar cases across the country, and they're working with a national extortion joint task force. Tara.
Okay, Alicia, thank you. To breaking news now, a Calgary police officer has been charged with assault. Imran Khan, a constable with 6 years service, is suspended with pay. Police say Khan used excessive force by punching a person who was under arrest. Khan will appear in court on August 6th. Police have released a photo of a man as they investigate a Southwest shooting. Officers are trying to identify this man, who they believe has information about a shooting on June 5th. Just before 11 that night, gunshots were heard at a residence in the Beltline. 2 men were hurt. Both suffered life-altering injuries. Police would like to hear from anyone who might have more information. A school bus collided with a vehicle in the southeast late this afternoon. Now, luckily, there were no serious injuries. It happened in Mackenzie Town. An ambulance was on scene as a precaution, and students on board were transferred to another bus. Calgary police say a driver critically injured in a crash in Southview on Wednesday is a 17-year-old girl. Investigators say the SUV she was driving ran into two parked vehicles at high speed. The driver remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police have a better description now of a man who allegedly exposed himself to a group of students last week. The incident happened near Brayside School on June 16th. A group of students say the man exposed himself and grabbed one of them by the arm. Police are looking for a man in his late 20s to early 30s with short, dark hair. He was last seen wearing a dark hoodie, black pants, and carrying a light-colored backpack.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Canadians are waiting hours, sometimes days, in emergency rooms across our country. A new report suggests the problem doesn't actually begin in the ER, though. CTV's Kathy Lee has more on what's really driving these delays.
Long waits in Canada's emergency rooms have become an all too familiar experience, and Brenda Trottier knows that firsthand.
It was frustrating.
She says her daughter went to a Calgary emergency room with abdominal pain last month and did not leave until more than 10 hours later.
Why wasn't her pain addressed? Why did we wait so long?
A new report by the Canadian Institute for Health Information found 1 in 10 patients spent more than 14 hours in the ER in 2024-2025. For those needing to be admitted, 1 in 10 spent more than 2 days in the ER waiting for a bed. This doctor says it's a long-standing issue that keeps getting worse.
We've been calling a state of emergency and state of crisis.
The report suggests the root of the problem often lies far beyond the emergency department. Shortages of hospital beds, long-term care spaces, and community supports are creating a bottleneck through the healthcare system.
Our government has been neglecting on some of the capacity and workforce building.
The consequences of overcrowded emergency departments have at times been tragic. In Alberta, 44-year-old Prashant Srikumar died in an Edmonton ER. And in Ontario, 16-year-old Finlay Vander Werken died in an Oakville ER. Both waited 8 hours to see a doctor. The Alberta government says population growth, rising demand, and increasing patient complexity are contributing to longer waits.
I think the feds have to get involved now and actually start to say, hey, we need to look at this in a national solution.
Trottier is thankful her daughter's condition wasn't more serious and understands medical staff are under strain, but says enough is enough.
It is broken.
And the government needs to make changes. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary. One of the signature events of Banff's Snow Days Festival won't be back due to overcrowding. Skijoring sees competitors on skis and snowboards being pulled along a snowy jump-fill course by horses. However, the growing popularity caused problems for the mountain town. Nearly 24,000 vehicles entered Banff on the first day of the competition earlier this year, leading to heavy congestion. There were also reports of excessive alcohol consumption and littering downtown. Organizers say this was a hard decision to make.
For us to proceed, we would have had to really fundamentally redesign the entire event, which we tried to do. That's why it took us 5 months to do this.
It was an important economic boost for us in a traditionally slow time of year. That being said, the popularity of it grew and it went beyond our expectations, and we saw some really significant challenges on our community.
In a statement, Skidjor Canada thanked the town for its hospitality and partnership. The organization also holds skijoring events here in Calgary. Well, it was a warm, kind of blustery day, though. Let's bring Danielle in now. How's our evening ahead shaping up?
Well, we'll continue the blustery stuff, Tara, but it looks like a lot of the activity is fizzling out way before it gets to the city. But there is lots of activity going on. This is basically wave number 1. There's another wave quickly behind it. So up until 10 o'clock at night, all communities, especially further off to the west, have the potential of seeing any sort of shower or thunderstorm activity. But you can see that it's fizzling out before it gets to us. So pretty tame here, just we're getting the wind from this. 23 degrees right now at the airport. Gusts closer to 40 kilometers per hour. We could gust even up to 50 kilometers per hour before things fully wind down for the night. And then they'll be back up to 40, even 50 kilometers per hour for tomorrow as well, late morning through the afternoon. Mix of sun and cloud, mainly cloudy with some sunny breaks basically for the morning. By the afternoon, by 2 in the afternoon, we get into the chance of some isolated showers once again.
Thank you, Danielle. Canada's Venezuelan community is reeling after devastating earthquakes. We'll check in on the rescue efforts underway and the help that's mobilizing around the world, including here in Calgary. And a home delivery to fight loneliness. How a simple house plant can help battle isolation for seniors. Calgary police say there is no credible coordinated threat targeting officers following weeks of violence, which has killed 3 police officers across the country. Tyson Fedor joins us from a Southwest police station tonight. Tyson, the impact of these incidents, though, is being felt by local police.
Well, Tara, Calgary police say their members are remaining vigilant at this time following the death of a Montreal police officer earlier this week. But police say that they cannot share any specifics when it comes to intelligence about any threats against officers, but they are working with other jurisdictions, including the RCMP. Now, the Calgary Police Association says that the job of a police officer has become much more dangerous due to increased violent crime and repeat offenders out on bail. Calgary's police chief saying that times have changed and what her members are experiencing nowadays she did not experience 35 years ago. Katie McClellan says people who get into this profession know what they're signing up for, but when you have 3 officer deaths in just a matter of weeks, it's bound to have an impact on all police officers, including here in Calgary.
It's an attack on all of us. It's an attack on what this profession signs up to do, and ultimately an attack on public safety. As I've said before, people who get into this profession, they know what they're going to encounter. They know what they're going to face every day. And I've said it's an innate calling, and even though it's a challenging career and it's a risky career, it is also a very rewarding career.
Calgary's mayor says that workplace safety has to be a top priority. Jeremy Farkas saying that everyone needs to step up and help support first responders. He's also advocating for sentencing and bail reform. Tara?
Thank you, Tyson. Rescue crews in Venezuela are seeing the devastation after 2 powerful earthquakes struck the South American nation just seconds apart. Millions of people are affected, and there are fears the death toll could be in the thousands. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
A woman waves a piece of clothing from this building in La Guaira, Venezuela, one of many people trapped inside their homes, following 2 of the most devastating earthquakes to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Both quakes struck near the country's northern coast. The first, a magnitude 7.2, hit around 6:04 p.m. The second, a magnitude 7.5, came just 40 seconds later.
And then I felt the ground shaking a little bit, and then just mass panic.
Rescue crews and civilians spent the night combing through the rubble of toppled buildings trying to find survivors. The 2 major earthquakes battering the country's already fragile infrastructure. More than 100 people are confirmed dead, with thousands of people still missing.
It's heartbreaking.
John Rosenberg is from Caracas and now lives in Toronto. He's worried about all the people still missing and about the devastating long-term impact these quakes will have on the country.
We feel like there was finally a recovery starting to happen, and to see the devastation and to see how much the infrastructure has suffered.
Today, Venezuela's President Delcy Rodriguez called for unity in the face of this disaster, which will likely further test her presidency. Rodriguez was installed after the United States ousted former President Nicolas Maduro in January. While Venezuela is an oil-rich country, decades of corruption and record-high inflation mean many services have been hollowed out, complicating rescue efforts. Today, Canada was among the many nations promising help.
We're working with our partners directly, and we will scale things as appropriate to move forward.
The Prime Minister says one of the challenges the government is facing when it comes to helping Canadians on the ground in Venezuela is that Canada does not have an embassy there. While there are no imminent plans to reopen one, Mark Carney says this disaster is a reminder of the importance of having a presence in foreign countries, even adversarial ones. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Here at home, Venezuelans are frantically searching for loved ones as communication is limited in the region. Moses Woldu met with members of the community who are sharing their stories and learned what's being done here to help.
Frightening scenes kept Josue Ramirez up all night, scrambling to hear from family in Venezuela.
Gladly, we just got, they reached out to us and they are good, they are safe.
While Ramirez is relieved, he says one of his closest friends wasn't as lucky.
A few friends of hers died in the earthquake, and it gave me goosebumps because it's a situation that you don't want to go through it, right? So
the 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes that shook a nation Wednesday is also being felt here at this Venezuelan restaurant. Carolina De La Torre has been in constant contact with relatives, giving her details of the destruction.
We don't have an emergency plan, and now people are like bringing the machinery to help people to get out of the building.
The Venezuelan Canadian Association of Calgary was anticipating a joyous weekend with a festival down at Eau Claire Plaza. Now Saturday's gathering means so much more, as proceeds will be donated to Canadian Global Response, a charity that helps those impacted by natural disasters.
The more important is get the help there as soon as we can. So that's why we prefer to raising money.
We're going to try to do whatever we can do as a community to support our families and relatives and friends in Venezuela.
Moses Wilder, CTV News, Calgary.
This afternoon, Ottawa confirmed it is providing Venezuela an initial $5 million in humanitarian assistance. And Global Affairs says there are currently 740 Canadians that it knows of registered as being in Venezuela.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's bring Danielle back in. Well, yesterday was nice, today was nice, but it's not going to stay that way.
Correct. Yeah. So we have the chance of showers, and sometimes heavy, really over the next 5 days. So on and off rain is a good possibility, with the main part of our rainfall being Saturday night through Sunday. We're also going to cool down a bit for the weekend, so we can say goodbye to these types of temperatures. 23 is the temperature right now at the airport in Calgary, 24 in Lethbridge, 25 in Medicine Hat. So many communities will cool, Calgary included, will cool into the teens as we get into the weekend as well. So a different weather pattern, absolutely. I'm going to make sure you're prepared, and we'll continue to keep you posted here at CTV. All right, 46 was the max gust in Calgary, and into the 50s for Red Deer. So gustier conditions, Red Deer down the QE2 towards Calgary. A little windy in Medicine Hat as well. Everywhere else looking at that 30-kilometer-per-hour range. So breezy. We just popped up to 43. Just a gust recorded in Brooks at 43 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow we're looking at 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts possible in all of southern Alberta. All right, let's talk about this system that will be impacting Alberta really for the next few days, 4 or 5 days even. What we're looking at is we do have a weather statement in place for central Alberta. Now, keep in mind, last weekend, Edmonton got over 100 millimeters of rain in a short amount of time, led to some overland flooding. Ground is overly saturated there already, and we could get another 30, 60 millimeters of rain in central Alberta. That's why the statement is in place there. We're going to see some rainfall in southern Alberta, but we're looking at it spread out over a longer period of time. So 4 days rather than 3, and then 20 to 40 millimeters possible. So yes, it's a good amount of rain, but it will be on and off, and we will get times where it's a little more pleasant. All right, here's what's happening. We have that activity all along the mountains in the southwest corner, as you can see here. We have it's all weak thunderstorm activity, but this is possible up until 10 o'clock tonight. You can also see some storms tracking along the Trans-Canada. In fact, they're tracking towards the northwest. So one cell rolling towards Brooks right now, and another one shortly behind it. These are weakening as they go, but some lightning and a decent downpour, quick, short-lived downpour certainly coming with it. For Calgary, we're in the clear. We may see an isolated shower up until 10 o'clock tonight, but we're really looking at things calming down in all of southern Alberta for tonight by 10 o'clock. But then this system really starts to kick in. So on Friday, we'll kick off the day with a mix of sun and cloud, but by the afternoon, we have the chance of showers and certainly some rainfall off to the west and off to the east of the city. On Saturday, again, a mix of sun and cloud for the morning hours, but then by the afternoon, that instability builds in once again. And then Sunday, Saturday night through Sunday, is when we're looking at that more consistent widespread rainfall. Temperatures fall into the teens. Saturday, a couple millimeters possible. Sunday, 10 to 20 millimeters possible. That's your action furnace 5-day forecast, Tara.
For some seniors, loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about losing daily connection. Kevin Green reports on a Calgary group trying to help new friendships take root.
It starts with a simple houseplant, but for Vivian Woods, the goal isn't just to brighten a room. It's to give seniors a reason to connect.
It's a good reminder that they're not alone and that we haven't forgotten them and that as a community, we're here for them. Hi, John.
Hey, come in, guys.
Hey, I'm Vivian.
Woods runs Growing Gratitude YYC, delivering free indoor plants to seniors who may be lonely, isolated, or living with limited mobility.
Even by delivering a plant, if you want me to come in for a cup of tea, I'll come in for a cup of tea. It might be the only conversation a senior gets that day.
For some, it brings routine. For others, it brings a visit.
For about a year, I just didn't see anybody and hardly talked to anybody at all.
University of Calgary researcher Alex Bierman says about 1 in 3 older Albertans surveyed reported feeling isolated. He says the issue isn't just social activity, it's whether people feel they matter.
One thing that we can really do to help older adults feel less lonely is essentially invite them into our lives.
Thursday, Woods, along with the company Tiva Grow, was handing out plants at Shalim Community Senior Living. The hope is they spark conversations between residents, volunteers, and staff.
For example, if I'm not a very good plant person, what if mine is dying and it's on its way out, and I can talk to somebody else who's good at it?
By having a program where residents are receiving them together also creates bonding. For people to be talking about the plant that they received, maybe visiting each other's plants, keeping each other accountable.
Bierman says ongoing connection is what helps reduce loneliness.
To have these sorts of more ongoing, intensive opportunities where older adults can interact with each other and feel like they have engagement with each other, that's what's really going to decrease loneliness.
And Woods hopes one small plant can be the first step towards something bigger, a conversation, a visit, and eventually a friendship. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Growing Gratitude YYC is looking for plant donations, volunteers, and help identifying seniors who could benefit. The damage has been done for some farmers around Edmonton. They say the heavy rainfall this spring could be disastrous, and as Danielle told us, more is on the way this weekend. And later, it's all in the attitude. A territorial cat takes on a bear in BC and wins. City crews are cutting down aging trees along an inner city street. The city says the trees are reaching the end of their natural lifespan, and many are starting to show advanced stages of decline. Workers have removed 5 trees and pruned several others. The city says it recognizes how important these trees are to the community and the canopy they provide. The wood will get a second life at the Calgary Zoo, where it will be used for habitat enrichment and animal feed for moose, giraffes, camels, gorillas, and hippos. Farmers in the Edmonton area are coping with flooded fields because of a very wet spring. Some are bracing for disaster. Others think the crops can recover. Amanda Anderson reports.
It was looking real good until it rained.
Crops need rain, but this year it's been too much, too fast. From the ground, you can see flooded areas in this farmer's field, but from above, the extent of the water damage is much clearer.
The damage has already been done, so some of these areas won't come back from what those plants there are not going to produce.
Chris Allen says anywhere from 15 to 50% of his land is underwater.
The first 10% that's gone, that's the profit. So anything after that, you're looking at red net revenues.
Further south, near Camrose, it's a similar situation for farmers.
The crop is nowhere near lost. I'm just the optimist looking at it, saying there's lots of water now for later in the year.
Allen says crops that have been able to grow are doing okay for now.
If it stays wet long enough, this crop will start going backwards very quickly as well. So we'll lose that. We can start having a reduced yield on some of this crop.
In 2020, Thorhild County declared a state of agricultural disaster because of significant rain and flooding. Allen says the way things are now, and with more rain on the way, they could be in the same situation this year.
We're kind of on a tipping point. If it stops raining, the sun comes out, go to the lake for a weekend, then get some spraying done, that'd be great. But it rains a bunch more, we're going to be pretty sad.
If a disaster is declared, Allen says it does allow farmers to access funds to help with remediation, but he's hopeful it doesn't come to that.
If I can get the rest of the field to produce half decently, we'll be okay.
The soggy fields can also lead to issues down the road. Any ruts created make it challenging and more expensive for harvest equipment.
They don't go away between now and September when we start harvest. So managing them, but like I said, it's something we'll come up with a plan with and we'll work through it.
Allen says a good 2 weeks of warm, sunny weather after the wet June would do not only farmers, but everyone some good. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Thorhild County.
People in the town of Tofield, east of Edmonton, are still cleaning up after last weekend's flooding. The water pumps are on full blast at Tofield Packers. Days of heavy rain had the family business surrounded. But neighbors and some strangers saw the business was in trouble and jumped into action. They managed to save beef worth hundreds of thousands of dollars by moving it to freezers.
People were shoveling water. People were paling water. We had squeegees. And honestly, everybody worked 24 hours a day. It was crazy.
The idea is to mitigate and to pump until there isn't any more water to pump. With the forecast for the weekend, we know more water's coming, and so we just need to be prepared for that.
The Premier visited Tofield Wednesday to survey the damage to the town. The Provincial Emergency Management Agency is offering financial support. The town has cancelled Canada Day festivities because of that rain that's in the forecast. In Edmonton, part of the high-level bridge was closed in the wake of the heavy rain. A sidewalk was closed late this afternoon and will remain closed until further notice. According to the city, a section of the slope next to the bridge's wooden guardrail has failed and it is now unsafe for pedestrians. Also closed is a turning lane close to the bridge. An invasive fish that's caused problems in waterways across Alberta is now in Sylvan Lake. Prussian carp is considered one of Alberta's most troublesome invasive fish species. In a statement, Alberta's Environment Minister said Alberta's government is aware of the presence of Prussian carp in Sylvan Lake. Fish samples provided by local residents were recently tested, and results received earlier this week confirm the species' presence in the lake. The province encourages anyone who catches a Prussian carp to humanely kill and dispose of it and then report any sightings to the Aquatic Invasive Species Hotline. A NASA satellite has found 2 planets with a density similar to that of cotton candy. The space agency is referring to the celestial bodies as super puffs. The planets are about the size of Jupiter, but they have less than 6% of its mass. NASA detected their shadows as they passed in front of their sun. The planets are more than 1,100 light years away, and scientists are not sure exactly what they look like. This is an artist's interpretation. Just ahead, a Calgary park revitalized. We're with the local theater troupe joining the celebration as Pump House Park reopens. The City of Calgary spent a year and $3.6 million upgrading Pump House Park just west of the downtown core. Designers used the historic pump house as inspiration for art pieces and play structures surrounding the building that's been a theater for more than 50 years. Kevin Fleming reports.
There's a common theme of blue piping at Pump House Park that's used in artwork and play structures.
The designers chose to use water pipe and water pipe fittings and to create the swings. So you have that subtle connection to the pump house through the use of the water pipe in our play features. So it was quite intelligent design as far as I'm concerned.
This is the official opening of the park after a year's worth of construction. Kyle Ripley says it was time for an upgrade here.
We had beach volleyball here for quite a while, and but prior to that, it was basically everything you see here without the smaller trees and the amenities. So it was just kind of a space that really wasn't getting a lot of use. And now we've created some opportunity for Calgarians to love and enjoy it.
The rejuvenated park is a space people living in Sunalta, Hillhurst, Sunnyside, and Scarborough can't wait to use.
These improvements were very much needed to provide more accessibility, more options for the rest of Calgary to enjoy the park, and for the residents of Sunalta to be able to show off our backyard. We're so excited about it.
With the Sunalta community right here, which is been struggling with some social disorder issues lately, again, this is something that will bring in people and bring in positive energy, and the more people we have using a space and being in an area, the healthier that community becomes.
Members of the Untold Stories Theatre were part of the celebration with a song from their current production of Hello, Dolly.
She's a matchmaker, and she's ready to take the next step to continue living her best life and being happy. And in order to do so, she kind of meddles around with other people's lives to arrange their happiness as well.
The troupe was made up of 24 volunteers who step on stage to share their passion with Calgarians. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
If you'd like to see Hello, Dolly, it runs through to Saturday evening. It's a fun, family-friendly musical. We've posted more information about the production on our website. Might be a good thing to do on a rainy day. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, the cutest furry family in New York City is going viral. Look closely. A mama raccoon and her 2 babies are nestled nicely in that tree in Central Park. The sighting is extra special, of course, because raccoons are nocturnal, so you don't often spot them out during the day. But people are lining up to see them.
Oh,
very
I would.
cute, their little
it's
faces.
Adorable.
Yeah. Well, there's a giraffe baby boom at the Copenhagen Zoo.
The reason that they are lined up like this is that we had a period of time where we did not have a male, and when the male got in, he was able to mate all 3 females, so we had these calves right after each other.
So this little one is the 3rd giraffe calf born there since March. This boom is seen as a big victory at the zoo, not just again because of that adorable face, but also because of declining numbers of giraffes in the wild. Very cute.
Adorable.
Well, members of a brass band in Australia pulled off a sweet surprise for their long-standing conductor. Okay, this is entirely different video. This is a video. Forget everything I just said.
Okay.
Forget everything I just said. This was posted to social media.
Okay.
A very kind of unlikely interaction between a cat and a bear. The feline chased it out of the yard. This is in Quesnel, BC.
Okay.
The black bear wandered in. The cat obviously was like, not in my backyard, dude, and chased it right out of there.
Can I have this cat? If I would feel a lot better
if you lived with a very brave cat.
I need a brave cat.
You have a thing
like
with bears.
This.
You have a bear phobia, so you need a brave cat.
I need a, so yeah, if you would like to pass this cat on to me, if you're watching this right now, I will gladly take that wonderful cat.
He's now famous in Quesnel. Yeah. Well, it's one of the most popular tickets on the Midway. We've got a sneak peek inside this year's Calgary Stampede Rotary Dream Home. That's next.
All right, Skywatch weather camera, and really in the city today, looking off to the west, you saw some interesting clouds, some storm clouds, but it all really fizzled out as it tracked towards Calgary. So we haven't seen any activity really here. We have had the wind though. 23 is the current temperature. Our high was 24, normal's 22, right where we should be for this time of year. Record for this day, 31.7, all the way from 1912. All right, when we look across the country, through the prairies, through southern Ontario, southern Quebec, temperatures mainly in those mid-20s for many communities, southern Alberta included in that. All right, when we look at those maximum wind gusts, mainly in the 40s up through Medicine Hat, Brooks and Calgary, and then in the 50s for Red Deer. The winds will return tomorrow, especially late morning and through much of the afternoon, 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, Calgary and all communities in southern Alberta. All right, all this activity is starting to really fizzle out for the night. So we have one cell that's just dying out as it tracks through the Brooks area, may clip Dutchess a little bit, but again, it's nothing really big. And then there's a weak one headed towards Cardston. Nothing headed towards Calgary right now. When we look at our 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace Fixed Rider, it's free. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, and then by the afternoon, by 2 in the afternoon, we get into the chance of those isolated showers. So much like today, we may not see it at all. It may stay off to the west, but there is that potential, and it will be just as windy tomorrow as it was today. All right, a lot of rainfall expected on the BC side, and temperatures will plummet too. 24 degrees for Edmonton, and you can see that activity possible. Grand Prairie, Edmonton, Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, heavy rain in many parts of central Alberta. And again, we have the chance of showers for many communities in southern Alberta. Medicine Hat looking at a high of 26 for tomorrow. Lethbridge 22. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Calgary police officers are remaining vigilant following the death of a Montreal police officer earlier this week, but they say there was no credible coordinated threat targeting officers. There were no serious injuries when a school bus collided with a vehicle this afternoon. It happened in Mackenzie Town. The students on board were transferred to another bus to get home. And the search for survivors continues following 2 large earthquakes in Venezuela. At least 188 people have been killed and more than 200 remain trapped. The Royal Bank has been fined for a violation of the Bank Act. RBC has been fined $4.25 million by the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. The agency says the bank failed to transfer credits from deactivated credit card accounts to customers' new accounts. As a result, it says customers got inaccurate monthly statements and some were charged extra fees. Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Ottawa today addressing reporters in a wide-ranging press conference to wrap up this year's parliamentary sitting. He also revealed more details from yesterday's phone call with President Donald Trump. But with just 1 week to go before the deadline to review the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement, Mark Carney said the deal wasn't even discussed. Abigail Beeman has the details.
Morning. The Prime Minister ran through his record, touting a successful spring session.
We have the right plan. We're on track, but there's much more to do.
Taking questions, Mark Carney peeled back the curtain on what he called a long conversation with President Trump and senior officials, including Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
On a range of issues, some related to NATO, some related to the situation in Iran and the broader Middle East. Both current and structural issues. Is a very constructive conversation. There's things we're working on together.
He wouldn't share details on Iran, but with the deadline for a review of the North American Free Trade Deal next week.
We didn't discuss Kuzma yesterday.
Mr. Carney has a long telephone conversation with the president and doesn't even bring it up. What could be a greater priority to this country?
CTV News asked the Prime Minister about these comments from the U.S. ambassador.
Obviously, we're not anywhere close to announcing any type of a framework or an interim agreement.
What I have seen with the president is that you're not close to make a deal and then you make a deal. So both things can be true.
Carney said Canada is holding out for a reason.
We could sign a bad deal this afternoon, right? We could have signed a bad deal a year ago. We're not going to sign a bad deal. So it has to be a real deal.
The Prime Minister also teased another topic, promising an announcement on the future of 24 Sussex. That's the official residence of the Prime Minister in disrepair that hasn't been lived in a decade. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
BlackBerry shares spiked today after the Canadian company reported solid earnings. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
BlackBerry's raising its annual revenue forecast. That sent shares up about 20% today. The company's focus is QNX, its critical operating system for vehicles. In its most recent quarter, BlackBerry reported revenue of $153 million US, a 26% improvement year over year. BlackBerry now predicts full-year revenue for 2027 to be around $600 million. Jameson Wellness says it's considering an unsolicited offer to buy the company. Jameson sells vitamins, minerals, and supplements. The Toronto-based firm says there's no certainty talks will lead to a deal. Jameson stock did gain on the news. The price of crude oil started creeping back up today after concerns were raised about getting through the Strait of Hormuz safely. A ship was hit today by an unknown projectile. Other tankers turned around earlier in the day, saying they heard the Iranian Navy telling them not to cross. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 70.43. West Texas Intermediate up over $2 to 71.97. Western Canadian Select is down over $3 to 55.77. And the TSX was up 114 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
One of the biggest draws of the Calgary Stampede is the Rotary Dream Home. Homes by Avi is providing the 30th Rotary Dream Home to be raffled off. The buildings are displayed on the grounds every year, and they're a popular place for people to check out. This year's home is valued at $1.47 million, and after it's won by somebody, it will be moved to Vermilion Hills. The 2,462-square-foot home has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, comes fully furnished. The biggest winners of the event will be the kids who get to go to Easter Seals Camp Horizon.
We have thousands of volunteers hours that we have volunteers that come out, and we give back to the community in the numbers of $600,000 to $700,000 a year. So it's a significant and reaches many different groups.
Easter Seals Camp Horizon offers accessible camp experiences for kids and adults with disabilities and medical conditions. The camp near Bragg Creek has operated since 1965. He is the longest-serving orchestral musician in the world. And now an Alberta musician is retiring his violin after more than 6 decades. That story is next. A Dubai jeweler has transformed a Lego World Cup trophy assembled by his son into a diamond-studded masterpiece. Hemant Karam Chandani added 900 pieces of diamonds set into 18-karat gold to the Lego trophy. It took him more than a month to complete. It's now worth about $115,000 Canadian, but he says it is not for sale. Team Canada has made it to the knockout round of 32 at the FIFA World Cup. So the next opponent is South Africa. That game is on Sunday in Los Angeles. You can watch it beginning at 1 o'clock Mountain Time right here on CTV or TSN and Crave. 65 years in any career is a major achievement. 65 years in the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra is a legacy. Violinist Brodie Olsen's career comes to a close this weekend, and CTV's Noah Rashog reports on his impact.
Dozens of instruments all working together like a well-oiled machine to bring a world of magic to life. Its oldest, most reliable part, 82-year-old Brodie Olsen, has been stringing melodies from his beloved violin for 65 years.
It's a fantastic thing when you think that everything in our life has music in it of some kind. You know, even listening to a mosquito has got a bit of a music.
Brodie's career started at just 6 years old, following his father's footsteps, playing with him in the symphony, then inheriting his music school.
I've had people in the orchestra in the past that have already retired, that have been my students. The last one, would have been Robert Rishu.
We caught up with Rishu, who says that he and dozens of others owe their careers to Brodie's mentorship.
And it was Brodie, in fact, who told me, Rob, there's a vacancy in the second violin section. You better get your chops together and audition.
The Edmonton Symphony Orchestra says that Olsen is the longest actively serving symphony player, not just in Alberta or Canada, but the entire world. Brodie's final curtain call is this weekend. His last performance, the musical world of Harry Potter.
After 65 years, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, okay, it may be the time to pass the torch with, as the Montreal Canadiens say, with failing hands, we're passing the torch.
Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
What a wonderful story. Amazing career. Wow. Okay, final peek at the forecast as we head a little bit closer toward the weekend.
Yeah, so, I mean, not completely wonderful, but there will be moments that you'll get sunshine and warmth, and then there's going to be moments that you're going to get the cloud cover and some gloomier, rainier weather, which is the excuse to watch a movie, obviously. All right, so 20 degrees is our high for tomorrow, so cooler tomorrow. Today's high was around 24. Showers possible later in the afternoon. Tomorrow should shape up like today, but we have the chance of showers. Saturday, we will have some sunshine and also some rain, but it's mainly Saturday night through Sunday. We're looking at more consistent rainfall, 2 millimeters Saturday night, 10 to 20 possible on Sunday, and then another 10 to 15 on Monday with temperatures in the teens for much of the weekend. All right, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Thank you, Neil Becky.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow.